It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to a new week. You know, I can't believe we did morning, Russell, and now this.
Why?
Because I'm exhausted. I want to go home. I want to take a nap.
Oh, no. We got a full day lined up because we still have 388 tonight.
I know. What's 388?
388, we're going to be at 388 Italian Restaurant by Mr. Sal. Come on out. It's a fun networking event or just to have some fun. Half-price drinks, half-price appetizers. It's right on Federal Highway between Glades Road and Spanish River Boulevard. So happy Monday to you. It's kickoff happy hour on a Monday. Why wait till Friday?
I know. It's Friday every day at that place.
Right?
And the drinks are phenomenal.
I woke up this morning thinking about, oh gosh, what are we possibly going to be eating today? Because their food is so good.
I know. Do they have like another side of the menu that we haven't seen? That meatball. My God, it's the whole
meatball's
plate.
amazing. They had some other food that everyone...
Calamari,
the calamari's good, the meatball's great. The mushrooms, I think, are unbelievable.
I know. It's tremendous.
The cauliflower pizza.
And how is it that they sell it? Family style? Is that even
It's
a thing?
all served family style. It's off the concept of Matteo's. So if you're from Boca Raton years ago, Matteo's was a family style Italian restaurant. And I think some of the owners are still the same of this 388 by Mr. Sal. There's also one in New York. So if you recognize the name, that would be why you recognize the name. But it's right here on Federal Highway. They serve, I don't know how they serve with 2 spoons.
I know. I can't even eat with 2 spoons.
Even a big spoon sometimes is hard to eat with, right? But they can serve with it. And they don't get anything on their clothes. It's amazing. And we've got music tonight.
What time? Yes, we do. We got Mike Prescott.
Gonna do some
Italian music.
throwback. What
Maybe
is
a little
Italian
Frankie
music?
Sinatra.
All right, so a little throwback.
Yeah, you know, like I figure let's try the Italian hors d'oeuvre in the hors d'oeuvre place.
Nice, kind of like the New York kind of feel. Your people kind of feel.
Your people.
Your people.
Your people.
Versus my people.
I didn't even know I had people.
You're New York kind of people.
Last week we had Motown in places that really,
Which
really
was
well.
great.
So today we're changing the venue, see what happens.
Nice.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Pure Light. If you own a cat, you got to get this. Let me tell you something about this little light bulb. This light bulb is amazing. So you ever walk into a person's house and you know they have a cat? You know they got a cat.
Because they got a litter box.
Because they got a litter box. And no matter if you buy 5,000 pounds of litter and change it every day, you know you got a cat. Well, this bad boy takes away every smell there is. This is amazing. You put one of these on, it disappears.
Well, we have it here in the bathroom, and I've been leaving it on because it's the bathroom. It helps.
Looking at me and saying this.
No, because you like to turn the lights off, but I leave it on and I close the door so you don't know I've left the light on.
No, I see it. This thing is so bright I can see it across the street.
So I close the door thinking you're not going to know I left the light on, and I'm like Russ was here, I'm like, quick, close the door. I have one on my air return at my house. You know where they have like their air handler and everything? Well, it's in like a cabinet that has a light. So I have it in there to help with all the musty smells and everything.
Well, I had 2 of these in a room in the back, the laundry room, and it must have because there's a water heater in there, and there was a musky smell in there, and it's gone. So I called the building, and they came over, and it says, well, I guess it never smelled. And I says, no, it's a report. And it says, yeah, it's a musky smell. They were going to change the hot water heater. Now, they don't have to.
So you want to give us a little bit of background as to why it works?
Really? You're the alien. You tell me why it works. This is the same. This is the same technology that they have up in the space capsule. They actually landed last night.
Without people
Musk
in
went
it.
up. Well, people were in
Okay.
it. The 4 that went up that were international billionaires, and they did the moonwalk. It's the first time in the history of mankind that a normal person like Alicia can go on a spacesuit and they'll let you walk outside the bubble. Normal. They came back. It goes to show you, those two poor people and that messed up thing are going to be up there till February. Meanwhile, we're sending rockets up with other people, other airlines and everything else. But check this out. I want you to go online. You know what it is to buy?
Pure-light.com, but you need a hyphen between it. Put in the code RUSS, R-U-S-S, for a 20% discount. They have everything from fluorescents to regular size bulbs. They also have the ones that go in the big hi-hats. So they've got all different sizes. They're a white, bright white, which is unbelievable. And give it a try. It says it helps with odors, it helps with mold, it helps with mildew, it helps with purification, and it helps with plants.
Plants. You know, all you planters, there are people in our community that actually have plants, and we should not say what kind of plants, but there are plants. You put this bad boy on and watch what happens.
Do you know, I was watching Connie Chung. Speaking of that, she was on this morning. Connie Chung is like the first Asian woman ever to sit behind a news desk.
WABC in New York.
She is the second woman to ever hold that position.
Yeah.
And now she said this morning, she has a plant, a weed, she calls it, named after her.
A weed?
Because it grows and it's calm and it just doesn't
You don't even have to inhale it. You just look at it and it calms you down.
So she said this morning that she has a weed named after her. In the morning show, we can't talk about that on this hour. You have to wait until like the 11 o'clock hour to have this conversation. I guess their demographic is different between 8 and 9 versus 11. They were like, ooh, they didn't know what to say. It was hilarious.
Alicia has a weed after her. It's called the wacky weed.
Well, I think that's what she was kind of talking about. But I guess in New York, it's different than in Florida, because in Florida, everything's different. But it was kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
But Connie Chung, right, an icon in the industry.
You remember her husband?
Maury Povich.
He died.
No.
It wasn't
Phil Donahue died.
Phil Donahue. She wasn't.
Phil Donahue was married to.
I thought it was Connie Chung.
No. Connie Chung was married to Maury Povich.
That girl. What was her name?
Yes, exactly.
What's her name?
That's what I got to remember.
I remember that girl.
That girl.
The show? You know her name?
I've been watching. Am I using the right mic? But I've been watching that girl.
You've been watching which girl?
Margot
You
Thomas.
a little bit. Dawn, that's you. Have you seen my?
Margot Thomas is married to Phil Donahue. Have I seen it? Yes. Back in the day.
Yes.
100%.
Isn't she like you? Because she was like ahead of her time. She was petite. She was a New York girl.
Do you know that they had the convent? They had last night Happy Days.
Did you
They
see
brought
it?
back Happy. No.
You and I are so cheesy. We're so old that we think, but we're the demographic that's like cheesiness.
Excuse you. I saw it and I turned it off.
Why?
Because Howard is bald-headed. The Fonz looks like the Fonz out. I don't want to look at that. That used to be my youth.
You know, he hits the jukebox.
He used to say, he used to take aspirins with no water.
Heidi, remember that? Remember Happy Days? I know, Hanna, you have no idea. We've probably seen reruns.
Yes, of course. I remember the Fonz.
Heidi remembers the Fonz, right? You got to go back to our demographic.
The Fonz was so cool. The leather jackets and all that stuff was so cool.
That was the Emmy, so it was kind of cool.
They did the reunion. It was just Howard and the Fonz. Nobody else was on.
On that one, they did a lot of like throwbacks. They had one setup that was just the medical, those that had played physicians on TV, and then they did those that had played attorneys, and the Fonz, and the old shows, and you can just see
You
where
remember
TV is
Laverne
going.
and Shirley?
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't Shirley die? Laverne is still alive because she does movies. She's
Penny Marshall.
Penny Marshall is a director. But I think Shirley died, no?
I think so,
believe so.
too.
A lot of people have died recently. Michael Jackson's brother died, Tito.
Oh, wow, you're just
Died
a
yesterday.
plethora of good information.
Well, but these are icons, you know. You got to
James
mention
Earl
them.
Jones passed away
James
last
Earl
week,
Jones.
I know.
What is it? What was the running joke when he was alive? I want to have his voice because it's everywhere. His voice is the documentary voice of everything.
It's like Russ Johnson. The best voice in radio. Russ Johnson has the best voice of radio, I have to tell you.
I'm going to tell you, those guys were icons. And now Tito died. And didn't somebody else just recently die as well?
A lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Every day.
Every day.
Thank you. Thank you for both of you playing. Thank you very much.
All right, tune in today to Lights in the Night. This afternoon, we're going to air Russ Johnson's show. Also airs tonight at 8:30. Wow, today he talked about some interesting things.
Did you hear?
I asked him if it was, I can't even tell you, but it says something to do with an assassination of a president. Let's just put it that way. and something he disclosed. And I went, is that true? And he said, yep. So definitely want to take a listen to that show tonight at 8 o'clock on True Oldies. Wow.
He also talked about the technology since the 1950s, Bluetooth and everything else, where it came from and how it was originated and why is it that it's working now the way it works. And it's really interesting to read. It's an interesting show tonight, 8 o'clock. I came out because I said, what? Did he just say that?
He's good. And his guest, Norman Maines, amazing. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're heading right over to the jewelry counter. You know what I said this morning? I have to surround myself with things that bring me joy. So since I'm here, I bring the joy to me. So you don't want to miss this. We've got Hanna and Heidi Sheff joining us of J. Ortman Jewelry, and wow, wait till you take a look at this. And then we have Michelle Brickage joining us. We're going to be talking spirituality and a whole lot of other fun stuff. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. Studio A. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. For exclusive behind-the-scenes content, like and subscribe to the cafe as well as Amp Media Productions, and be able to enjoy all of the shows that we produce here right at the studio. More to come, and we'll be right back.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Give me the mozzarella. 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 Give me the mozzarella.
Pizza Rica, tasty Richard Pizza at 2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard or contact 561-826-8663.
Wings, we also sell them. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-920-3819.
Frank A. Ruffolo, a renowned author and screenwriter known for his books such as 10048, Blue Falcon, Memoir of a Soldier, and his latest, Samuel of Sarah. Check out his website, frankaruffolo.com, for more info or purchase his books on Amazon.
Amp Media Futures Foundation is a non-for-profit organization dedicated to providing college students with immersive opportunities in media production, marketing, business skills, and communication.
Interns will learn professional workflow skills in editing, video and radio broadcasting, public relations, digital media, graphic curriculum, and access to equipment to make a positive impact.
Amp Media Productions is a full-service production house with a variety of shows ranging from the Brooklyn Cafe show.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a very busy Wednesday.
Sarah Spiritual.
Right here on the Oldies station, you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
Call me Zena.
Teach by example, and that's what I try to do all the time, to teach by example.
You know, Artist Loft.
Using that term more. Yeah, lofties, yeah.
And Gypsy Soul.
They love music. It's like their favorite thing to go to.
I teach like preschool up to 12th grade.
Yeah, nice.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Amp Media Productions. Please like and subscribe to all of our shows.
I want to be in first class. Champagne, please.
Dying comfort.
That's good. We offer opportunities to excel in the field of TV film production, social media management, video editing, set design, graphic design, sound engineering, journalism, and many more useful tools to help you land a career in the media business.
To volunteer or be a part of our team, or to make a donation of any size, please visit us at ampfutures.org. Help us to empower college students to create a positive impact with immersive hands-on experiences in media production. Help us amplify the future.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Gulp, sip, ring. There you go. Sip, gulp, ring. Don't choke. And we are back. All right, nothing is better than starting off a Monday with some jewelry. So I'm really excited. We actually have a proper setup for you today. We've got Heidi and Hanna, Sheff, joining us of J. Ortman Jewelry. This jewelry has been around this company for 125 years. It is a family-owned and operated business since Heidi's great-grandfather with Hanna must be your great-great-grandfather. What an amazing legacy. So the ladies have set up shop, no pun intended, literally in the studio. So if you're in the area and you are looking to shop or design, come on over and check this out. So welcome back, ladies.
Hello, hello. Thank you.
We're so excited to have you. We have everything set up. Heidi was here, I believe, last week or 2 weeks ago. And now Hanna, her lovely daughter, is in visiting. And we said we have to bring her into our spiritual portal. So welcome, Hanna.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
All right, so give us a little bit of official background on J. Ortman and what you all are doing with the company now.
So J. Ortman is like Dawn said, is 125 years old. My grandfather's father started the company back in 1899, Julius Ortman. Then my grandfather, who took it over, it originally was a lot of silver platters, silver tea sets, silverware. My grandfather was more interested in diamonds, precious stones, and jewelry. So he, back then, he just started buying it and selling it. We've always been wholesale, which is considered an upstairs jewelry store. We don't have a retail store. We sell to other wholesalers, we sell to retail stores, and we sell to clients who know us through referral. So I started working for my grandfather back in the late 80s after I graduated college. So I've been doing this for 40 plus years. And I've just always been around it, even when I was a child. And I love jewelry, I'm passionate about jewelry. I do fine jewelry, I do custom jewelry, I do vintage jewelry, I do fancy colored diamonds. Pretty much anything to do with jewelry is something that I buy and sell to other dealers or private clients who know me. So I'm more like a concierge jeweler, where I work one-on-one, and you come to me, you tell me what you want, you look at the stores, you decide, you send me a picture, and then I create it for you for a lot less money. So that is the benefit in coming to somebody like me. And my daughter Hanna, she has her own business, but I ask her to work with me whenever she's available. She would be the 5th generation, so I'm hoping down the line she'll want to take over this type of company so that it doesn't disappear, because it's been around for many, many years, and that would be a shame. So on some capacity, She's the only one out of my 4 daughters who are interested. So we'll see where that goes, right, Hanna?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and she loves jewelry. She's been coming into my jewelry drawer since she was 5 and putting on my jewelry and wearing it.
True. Very true story.
I think every little girl loves to go through her mother or her grandmother's jewelry drawer, but this just takes you to a whole nother level. This is like, oh my gosh, wow, look what I get to play with. This is like surreal.
It truly is.
But you have a whole nother business that I think you can incorporate with this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when I feel like it's, it's an adornment energy and process. So each jewelry that I get to put on, I see it as just an extension of my essence, right? And I'm such a believer that what we have on our body is just emanating more of who you are. So that's why I connect with the jewelry so much. And even just as a young girl, felt like I was, going into a candy shop, but it's like all this sparkly jewelry that I get to adorn myself with. And it's so beautiful that I get to have that now with my mom.
Let's touch a little bit on your other business, because I read the lower third there, but it went by so fast. What's the other business that you have?
Yeah, so I have been supporting people in the realms of intimacy, relationships, self-love, and self-power for the last 5.5 years. And it really started with my own journey of not truly loving myself or seeing myself and wanting to just find more purpose and fulfillment in life. And I've just been through a big journey in relationships and really discovering what it means to truly love yourself, like look in the mirror and accept yourself for who you are. So I really love helping people come back to the truth of who they are without, having to conform or contort themselves into who they think they should be. And a lot of that does show up in relationships. So I teach people communication and really having that self-power in a relationship so you don't have to lose yourself in the relationship.
So are you a relationship coach or are you a self-confidence coach? Or what's the lack of putting a tag?
So I call myself an intimacy and embodiment coach. Relationship is definitely a huge pillar, I would say, of how the work unfolds and takes place. It just, people come to me a lot and I help them unravel their relationship patterns so they don't have to repeat them again.
So relationship is not necessarily a relationship with a significant other. It can be the relationship with yourself and why those other relationships are unraveling.
Absolutely. And then I also help people even heal what I call the mother wound, which a lot of women come to me and have this wound around their moms and just, this worthiness. And that's why I feel so grateful that we can work together in this capacity and, have the communication that we have. And if things come up, if, there's uncomfortable moments or triggers that come up, we can have the communication to talk through it. So it's not even just romantic relationship. I would say it's relationships across the board.
So it could be even business relationships and communication with clients.
Exactly. Yeah.
Holy
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. And Hannah's helped me tremendously when I've had issues, whether it be with a friend or my ex-husband who is her father or with a boyfriend. I mean, maybe some people would think that's not appropriate because I'm her mother. However, when I'm really in my stuff, she will help guide me, and she's amazing. Amazing. And if she is not available, she'll let me know.
Boundaries.
Boundaries.
I've had to learn
boundaries, Mom.
All right, let me ask you about that availability, right? So you got work doing its thing, you got your spouse who needs attention, you've got this kid that needs attention, your parents need attention, another kid, and at some point all your tabs are just on your computer screen, they're open. Can you actually say, I don't have the, what's the verbiage? I don't have the capacity. You don't want to say I'm setting a boundary because that doesn't sound so nice.
Right.
I don't have the bandwidth. Like, what's a good way to phrase not right now?
Absolutely. I would say something like, Mom, I hear that you're going through a lot right now. I'm not in the emotional I don't have the emotional capacity right in this moment to support you. So I'd love for you, I'll say something like, I'd love for you to go outside and take a walk or regulate yourself, and then we can revisit this at another time. Because, sometimes energetically it's I don't want to have to take it on. And so it's just being able to communicate that with love and not making the other person wrong is so key.
Oh, I so have to introduce you to my daughter-in-law.
I wanna-
You guys will work beautifully together.
I want to get back to the jewelry, but I got one question. As a business owner, for you, a female business owner that has to make this thing go and flow, and it's an everyday deal where you're doing what you do. What's the advice that you give a business owner? Sometimes you have to sacrifice everything in order to make the business grow. So they call it balance and all that. Is that something that you work with clients?
Great question. I am such a stand and a believer for, I work a lot with masculine and feminine energy. And so like your inner masculine is the doer, the one who has the direction, the clarity, the purpose. And then the inner feminine is more of like the flow, the energy, the nurturing, compassionate side. And so I help people merge the two, and that absolutely shows up in business. So I think it really comes down to like getting clear on your own purpose and why you're doing what you're doing, so that when you have times where you're like, oh, I don't want to, the commitment's not there, you come back to the reason of why you're even, doing the business that you're doing.
That's interesting.
And what is the name of your company, which is so amazing?
Yeah, the company name is Sacred Goddess, LLC. And then I also go by my name, Hanna Dillon. Dillon being my last name.
Sacred Goddess. When she said that
Dillon,
to me,
You like the Sacred Goddess.
Thank you. Dillon, my middle name.
Dillon's our middle name.
So
After
don't
Bob
you
Dylan.
think the adornment of the jewelry, back to what we talked about at the beginning, can enhance what you do for your career also? Because sometimes you just want to feel stepping into your authenticity. So whether it be a beautiful diamond necklace or a spiritual piece or some stones or a bracelet, helps show yourself self-love. Maybe you can buy it for yourself, or maybe the significant other. However it works, it's okay to purchase things for ourselves that bring us joy.
Absolutely. I think I see a piece as what I call like an anchor. So it's like an investment in yourself, right? If you connect with a piece, if you see a piece here and it calls to you, there's a reason why I believe you're meant to have it. And so it's like something that catches your eye. My invitation is always to follow that, whether it's a piece of jewelry, a clothing item, and I see it as like, well, what does this represent for you? And how can you wear it knowing like, okay, this necklace represents my deeper self-love and how I want to continue to open my heart. So I believe that you can bring significance to each piece.
Which is amazing. And your mom brings significance to this piece. I saw a piece and I said, oh my gosh, I love this. And I saw something else. I said, can we put those two together and make a whole nother piece? So I think that's going to be my purchase when you leave here today, because they both bring me joy. So why not put them together?
These are moonstones. And Dawn noticed it. She liked the colors. And then she loved the Buddha. And we can add the Buddha onto the moonstones to make a necklace. This is actually a bracelet. But it was a necklace. I turned it into a bracelet. I can easily turn it back into a necklace. So yes, right away she designed a piece that she loved. And that's something that I do all the time. I take my jewelry and I recreate it, repurpose it. Sometimes you inherit jewelry and you say, oh, I would never wear this. However, it's sentimental, so you don't want to sell it, you don't want to give it away, you can repurpose it. You can take, an antique watch and turn it into, a pair of antique drop earrings. I mean, there's so many possibilities. You take a brooch, this was a brooch, and I turned it into a ring. So there's many different things you can do with jewelry. If it's sitting there, you inherited it from a relative, and you can repurpose it. And it can also mean something while you're wearing it, instead of having it just sit in a safety deposit box.
It's very rare to find someone like you that does repurposing the jewelry. Because I've been looking, because I have this rose quartz necklace. The beads are tremendous beads. And I've been asking people around, will you turn this into something else? And everyone says, I don't do that, I don't do that, I don't do that. So the beads are broken, the necklace is broken, so it's sitting in a baggie, which is ridiculous because rose quartz, right? I mean, you talk about self-love, how lovely that would be. And it was from my grandfather. would be amazing to put in a piece. So maybe Heidi, I'll add that to the necklace on the back end, and we can do a whole big thing.
Right. There's so many things you can do that most people don't see, but when I look at something, I'm able to transform it. It's just one of the gifts that I have.
And you do it wholesale. So to me, that's like a win-win all the way around. Because now you're not paying retail prices. You're able to design what you want. Bring those mementos back to life that you're wearing them and they're not in a safe deposit box at a better price. Like, to me, this is a win-win.
It's girl math.
It's totally girl math.
Right. It's just a matter of people finding me because I'm not in a store. So I'd say 99% of my business is all through referral. People who have worked with me already refer somebody. If, their child is getting engaged or if their friend is looking for something. And that's pretty much, when I was in New York for 30 years, we had an upstairs office and you couldn't even get into our office unless you were referred by somebody for security reasons, obviously. Today, I meet with people in different locations. Sometimes I go to their home. Sometimes I go to the Boca Resort. Sometimes I go to a lounge that's upstairs. So it all depends on what works out. And sometimes I deal with people via Zoom. I still have clients in New York. So I'll work with them, I'll design it, I'll send it to them, or I send them directly to my diamond dealers in New York. Because that's my background and I've been there for so many years, I still have a huge amount of connections in New York City.
Can you imagine? I've got my diamond dealer in New York. To get to a wholesale diamond dealer in New York, you had to know someone who knew someone to get up to that wholesale office.
Exactly.
Here we've got a direct link right to you ladies. This is amazing. I wanted to ask you, in the red box, it looks like a pink stone that Jalen had spotlighted. Next to Heidi, I think. Or I don't remember who it was next to.
This one?
What is that beautiful ring?
This one right here.
Oh, so what I have today, this is all, in this area here, this is all real stones in gold or platinum. Over here is what I purchase. I call it my travel line. So that if I'm doing a show or if I'm going somewhere, these are all samples of the type of jewelry that I can custom make. I mean, I can pretty much custom make anything if you give me a picture or you explain to me what it is that you want. So this, if it was real, it's a Burma ruby. It's probably about 18 to 22 carats with diamonds, and it would be like $10 million.
Wow.
So it's a sample, and I just have it because I know what the real deal would be. I sell this for $575.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's part of my travel line. So if you're going somewhere and you don't want to worry about your jewelry or your diamonds, you can bring, a beautiful diamond ring that is not, this would be $100,000 if it was a natural diamond. If I also sell lab-grown diamonds. If this was a lab-grown diamond, it would probably be just under $10,000. But this is probably also like around $575 in my travel line. But this is all my travel line, which looks real, but it's a high-grade CZ coated with diamonds so that it sparkles.
Wow. $575.
I know that's a lot to take in, but
no, that's true. Yeah. I guess after you get your real diamond, when everyone's getting engaged, you're like, oh my gosh, I love my ring. At some point you go, you know what? This is so fun to play with and to travel with and just to get dressed up and enjoy it and not keep it in a safe deposit box. I'm a big believer now of enjoying what we have instead of keeping it locked up for that special moment.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients who have very expensive jewelry and they keep it locked up, which to me seems silly. You should be able to wear it. If you do wear it and it's expensive, I recommend insuring it just in case it gets lost or stolen. But if you are going on a trip to Europe and you don't want to worry and you want to wear this type of jewelry, this is the perfect, accessory to bring with you, especially if you're going to a black tie party or something like that and you want to have some beautiful jewelry. These are all diamond tennis necklaces or diamond Riviera necklaces. I sell them in all different sizes. So, for instance, for my other daughter, Jessie, is getting married in October, and I have 2 other stepdaughters, so I will be bringing a lot of this jewelry for us to wear. So I can pack it and not worry about losing, very, very expensive jewelry.
It's true. When you travel, everyone's got destination weddings these days. So you take it with you and you double pack it in your purse. You watch your purse go through the x-ray machine because you want to wear something beautiful, but yet you're never going to put it in a suitcase.
Correct.
I know the issues
Correct.
that I have.
And you don't
He's
want to have
looking
to be nervous, even about leaving things in the safe in the room.
Right.
It could be a little nerve-wracking to, not know who could possibly have access to that. But if you're home and going to a party, I sell the natural lab-grown diamonds. I sell precious stones. So I feel, I don't know, when I'm wearing jewelry, I like to wear the real thing. It just feels better. But if I'm traveling, I will go with my travel line.
And what do you think, Hanna, about the company? What does it mean to you to be the next generation?
Great question. What just came through, it feels like an honor. So I started doing just some virtual assistant work when I was back in Austin, and I was looking at our website, and there's a photo of my great-grandfather there. And, I'm a very connected, spiritually connected woman, and I felt an energy from him. I'm looking at the photo on the website, and I feel him. I almost want to cry. He's like, I'm so proud that you're working with us. Oh. Did I tell you that?
No.
I told her that. And he I could feel this, generational, I could feel him. And I started to tear up, even though I was just doing, some virtual administration work. So it feels like an honor. And I've always loved jewelry. I've always been that kind of girly girl. And I feel grateful that we have this type of bond and relationship where I can come and support her, even though I'm so passionate about my work and my own sole purpose. I just feel like there is this weaving that's starting to happen, which feels really beautiful.
I feel like it's a generational gift. People are like, oh, the guys usually join the family business. You worked with your father. There's, the dentists, the lawyers, the doctors. It's like that whole, but this is so unique because it was owned by your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, and then now women, right? Now it's moved through the generations to a women-owned business. And what that feels like, it's just like this, to me, a symbolism of the change of our time, but yet how jewelry is universal and it always stands the test of time, and love.
Yeah, I actually just got chills all through my body when you said that. For me, I told you I'm very connected.
She's one of us.
To me, I call that spirit bumps, meaning what you just said brings truth in my body. And there's obviously something deeper happening that maybe I can't even understand yet. So thank you for sharing that.
Well, it's always nice to see that the family has that business going. You're adding a whole different dimension to it because we were talking about this on Friday. You should surround yourself with things that make you feel good. And you should do that because life is very quick. And life is full of bumps and everything else that goes with it. But if you strategically place something that you like, somewhere, something on your body, a piece of jewelry, it doesn't matter the cost or whatever it is, it just means that you are fully aware of yourself and you can feel that whole thing. So you're adding a whole different dimension to the business. And I think that your grandfather's probably saying, you're taking this to a level that he always wanted to take it to. Gio, when I started doing streaming with my son, he looks at me now and some of the things that he says sometimes, it just throws me for a loop. He says, what you do, I always dreamed about. I mean, he was 14 when we started this, right? So it's amazing to feel so warm as to what you're trying to do here on top of what is already being done. It's just an amazing fact to have the two of you bring this today, especially with everything that's going on around us in this house, out in that, behind those doors and everything else. It's good to see tradition and the rise of something bigger in the future. I think they're going to do really, really well with this.
And when I was telling people what you do, I'm thinking, what a gift, what an honor this is for us to be able to bring you ladies in to share this jewelry, the design factor, the creativity, family, legacy, and have this personal interaction with you. So, you know what, I really love this piece, versus going into the mall or an exchange and you walk around and you look, and if you don't know, it all looks the same, right? To the naked eye, we don't know. But here you are looking at it and evaluating it, and some of these are legacy pieces that you can pass down, and then, like, you know, that these walls could talk. If these diamonds could talk, imagine what these stories could tell for the next person that gets to wear them. I think it's amazing.
And they bring a different element, because we've had other people with jewelry come in here. We've had people who have sat in different parts of the studio, but it's not the same. It didn't mean the same to them. They were putting the business and not the feel of the business behind it.
Do you have a favorite piece?
Me or her?
Both of you.
Yeah, Hannah, what's your favorite piece?
Oh my gosh.
Well, she's not wearing the piece that I gave her for her birthday. I don't think we even brought it. She loves blue and turquoise, so it was a blue topaz on a yellow gold chain, very simple.
Yeah.
But today she's wearing, this was one of the first pieces I ever purchased. It's Art Deco from the 1920s. It's called a diamond lavalier. And I don't know, I've always loved this piece. It's not something that I tend to wear that much anymore, but I love seeing it on her because I've had it for so many years. She's also wearing a ruby and diamond Art Deco ring. This was actually my engagement ring.
Can someone come on the floor so we can get close up on this, please? Close up, please. Thanks. I love how Heidi's repurposing her own jewelry. That ring is gorgeous.
Yeah. So this ring I might reset into a gold dome. It's kind of difficult to explain exactly, but I want to create more of a bucciolati style and give it a little bit more of a wow factor. So that's something that's in my head, but I haven't actually created it yet.
How would you describe Bucciolati?
Bucciolati, he's an Italian designer. Bucciolati, oh, I gave away the Bucciolati earrings. He does satin gold work and set little tiny diamonds. It's very delicate. It's actually very similar to my pink sapphire ring. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a Bucciolati style.
The detail work.
That's something that I might do with the ruby ring, and it would just sit in there, and it would be a big dome.
Is that your favorite piece, Heidi, is the ruby ring?
No. It used to be. What is my favorite piece? So probably I'm wearing this. I did not design. I don't know if you can see it. These are 3 little cupids.
How cute is that?
And they're pink, white, and blue sapphire by an Italian designer. This is vintage. This is definitely one of my favorite pieces. And
that's beautiful.
I'll choose mine real quick.
Yeah, you choose yours.
I love turquoise. I consider myself one of my archetypes is a mermaid. And so turquoise just speaks to me so much. I feel that...
Oh, that's beautiful.
I feel that it holds a certain frequency. And to me, the frequency is just, it's flow. It's flow, it's connection. It's, you know, if you think of the ocean and the vastness of the ocean, I don't know, I feel like my soul is turquoise.
How beautiful that lays on you.
If I put a color. So anything turquoise, I just feel like it's, you know, this piece to me is simple, but elegant at the same time.
Yeah, so something I want to say about this piece, I designed it. This is a drop that I also designed the shape, and it's detachable. So I have a lot of pieces that you can interchange. For instance, this one with the diamond, you can take any kind of drop, whether it's turquoise or it's a pearl, and then you clip it on. So this one has a heart-shaped diamond with detachable pendants.
Yeah. Wow.
This is also detachable. So whether it's a diamond or a ruby or turquoise or a pearl, there's a little tiny clasp and you can put different drops on. And I also love turquoise.
Have you patented that idea?
No, I don't really patent anything. And it's interesting, I designed this.
Because that's an amazing idea.
This is what I call my, is it eternity or infinity? It's
Infinity.
This is kind of infinity, or what goes around comes around, or my love. I did this about 15, 20 years ago. It has a diamond and a gold intertwining loops, and then all of a sudden Cartier and Bulgari and all these other companies started doing it. So I mean, mine is a little bit different, but it's like a love necklace, eternity, what goes around comes around. It has the diamond band for a female, the gold band for a man. And I don't really patent anything I do. I just have an idea and I make it, and if somebody likes it, then they can purchase it. But I'm not, a designer brand like Cartier or Van Cleef. And what happens when you have that type of status and name and Louis Vuitton and you're advertising, then the prices are, I'd say, 4 or 5 times what the actual value of the piece is. But people love that. I have a Van Cleef piece here.
I love the idea that
this is the Van Cleef Alhambra, which, you see many, many, many women wearing these. And I love this design, but this is not my design.
So many great pieces.
Alicia, do you like jewelry?
I'm just fascinated with this whole thing, and I love how between the two of you, with your heritage and the lineage that you're carrying, and her method of psychology. Do you have a psychology background, by the way?
I don't have a psychology background, but I have done, just over the last, decade of my life, I've just done a lot of studying on, human psyche, but I don't have an actual psychology background, but I've done a lot of trainings and certifications in different realms.
I'm only asking you because I see the correlation between the two. Because if anybody that understands the way elements and metals and precious stones work, there is an energy that emits from it. That's why even in they use copper, for instance, in for electricity and things of that sort. So with that said, and how you said that when you see a piece and people fall in love with it and the psychology behind it all, there is such a beauty with all of that. The chemistry of the elements.
So many great pieces. How can people connect with, I guess, the jewelry, and then, Hanna, you're going to tell us how, I keep wanting to call you Dylan, how people connect with you as well. For the jewelry, Heidi.
First.
Oh, okay. So for the jewelry, they can connect with me through my website, which is jortman.com. I also, on my website, I have my phone number so they can text me. I'm pretty discreet about where I meet up, but I would say going to my website is probably the best way. And you can also leave a comment on my website on the contact page, and I can get in touch with you via email. I would say that's the best way. And then you just let me know what it is that you're interested in, whether it's, making a purchase or redesigning, or you need your jewelry to be appraised. I mean, anything to do with jewelry is...
She's your gal.
That's my world. Yes, 40 years. So
awesome. Thank you.
yeah, that's the best way to get in touch with me.
Jewelry parties and things of that nature as well.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not open Studio B up to a showroom sometimes?
Well, I gotta get security, but yeah. But you
know.
can do it.
You know, who do we have for security? We got Michael.
Yeah.
Dressed as a pirate. And Hanna, how about you for your goddess?
Yes, I am most active on Instagram, so that's kind of where I share a lot of my content, writing, inspirational videos, and you can maybe put this here. My Instagram is just my name, Hanna, Hanna _Dylan, DYLAN _. And you can send me a direct message there. It's me that answers them. And I offer different online workshops, courses, and then I also do in-person stuff. So I work with couples in person, or if you're single, I do day-long immersions, VIP days. So there's a lot of different modalities and ways that, you know, if you're interested, we can work together.
Wow, there's so many things, like a whole nother segment to talk to you about. So I don't know if you guys are, if you can stay or not, and we like change you up and put you on another set or something, or stay, because I think your generation, some people are staying single longer, but yet there's still this mindset of, oh my gosh, I need that partner because I've got this biological clock, but yet you don't really want to. But society's like, yes, you should. And you're like, but no, I shouldn't. And I don't know, it's a whole nother conversation, so maybe you can stay and we can talk about that a little bit.
I would love to.
Awesome. All right, more to come.
Amazing.
On the other side of this commercial break, because I feel like their generation is pulled between the old generation of you shoulds versus the generation of what you really want and desire. 100%. So more to come, and Alicia's going to stick around and see what she has to say about that whole conversation. More to come. We'll be right back.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you. Call 800-978-4815. That's 800-978-4815. Call now. What if this happened to you when you're alone? With MedGuard Alert's new Care Watch, you can connect with medical professionals instantly, 24/7. No cell phone required. This life-saving medical device acts as a phone as well as a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And if you have Medicare or Medicaid, you may qualify to get yours free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
My mother told me, son, I'm gonna find you a woman. Just be patient, and she'll appear. One of a kind and extremely rare. She'll be a lot like you. It's true. And she closed her eyes as she said, goodbye. My mother died peacefully, knowing I'd find you eventually. She'd be proud to see my arms around you. There's nothing like being in love, romancing under the stars above. There's nothing like holding hands, strolling along a beach of white sand. When I reach for your hand, chills run up and down my spine, making me know you're mine, oh mine. I wake up to hear your voice, I go to sleep and hold it tight. Heart melts when you say hello. Kiss my lips and I lose control. There's nothing like being in love, romancing under the stars above. There's nothing like holding hands, strolling along a beach of white sand. Now you got me swimming in a pool of love, and you got me floating on a cloud above. Run your fingers through my wavy hair, making me feel strong as a grizzly bear. Nothing on earth I wouldn't do. I'm so in love with you, how could I lose? There's nothing like being in love, romancing under the stars above. There's nothing like holding hands, strolling along a beach of white sand. There's nothing like being in love, romancing under the stars above. There's nothing like holding hands, strolling along a beach of white sand. Mother, pray to God I'd find you one day. Now you're here, don't go away. Strolling along a beach of white sand. There's nothing like being in love.
And we're back.
And we're back. You know, we go to commercial break and we're all like, shoop, over to the jewelry table. But it's just amazing. I said to Heidi, I said, our grandfathers are probably up there going, they finally met. It's about time that these girls come together. It's kind of cool. My grandfather and her grandfather, you know? It is what it is.
Is there any wine involved in this?
No wine, just jewelry.
Didn't your grandfather go into wine business? They used to do wine.
I don't know.
Somebody did wines.
No,
Maybe,
maybe it was your grandfather's.
Your
I don't know.
grandfathers did wines?
I'm sorry.
Wines? Anybody?
Anyone in your family in the wine business?
No.
Grandfather never did wines?
Always jewelry.
Well, if they're telling you, my grandfather was an attorney during Prohibition.
So he drank a lot of wine.
No, I think he kept a lot of people out of jail.
Trust me, he drank a lot of wine.
He might have done that too, but yeah, maybe that's what you're hearing. Definitely, he was one of the Prohibition attorneys.
A lot of wines. Interesting aspect that the ladies bring to the table, some of the things that we talked about.
But I also want to talk to Hanna, jewelry aside, because my daughter's 32, my son and his wife, they're going to be 30, and there's kind of two schools of thought. One, you meet your partner in college or grad school, you get married, and you do your traditional route. And then there's the route of, I want to be a business, male or female or whatever it is. But then there's the biological clock of the shoulds. You should be. And if I don't, next thing I know, I'm 36 and I'm not. And I think it's all these internal pressures. But you work with people, relationships of loving yourself. Are you seeing this as kind of a push and pull situation?
Yeah, great question. Absolutely. I think that there's this mindset and what I call like a programming that you're meant to follow this certain path. Like you go to college, you get the job, you find your person, you get the kids, and it's just like this timeline. And there's nothing wrong with that. And for me, while I've been in and out of relationships a lot throughout my life, I've also just kind of been a little bit of like an inner rebel. Like I'm following my path. I'm going what my soul is calling me for. And, I haven't found my person yet, let's say. And I get to be okay with that, right? At 31 years old, to me, I still feel so young. And my mindset is, I have so much life to live. I have so much to do here on this planet. And I don't feel like I'm in a rush. And then I will feel these little, voices come in that compare myself to, let's say, my older sisters and the people maybe from I call it my past life in New York. But it's really about like staying true to who you are and what you want, and knowing that if you are in your, young 30s, mid 30s, even late 30s, and you haven't found your person yet, like I just remind people there's nothing wrong with that, and that your timeline is different, your path is different, and it doesn't have to look like everybody else's around you.
And so when a client comes to you, how do you express that to them? Like are there you say triggers, keywords that you keep in mind so you're not triggered by the outside world? Because I think that's the most noise we get as an individual, is those outside pressures of society that we know in our soul don't really work with us. Mm-hmm. But at some point, then the cracks start to show, like, well, maybe they're right.
Absolutely. So I would say it really depends on what the person wants. So I feel like, women will come to me, men will come to me. I've actually worked with a handful of men in their mid 40s to late 40s who have either been through divorce or haven't even had a true relationship yet. And I help people get really clear on what they actually want and to stand by that, to not waver in their needs and their desires, because I don't know the exact percentage, and I'm gonna look this up after, but the divorce rate is so high right now. And I think we looked this up the other day.
I think it's still 50%.
I think it's 50%. And to me, what that tells me is that people get into a relationship for, whatever, it's comfort, safety, security. Again, nothing wrong with that, but they're not actually clear on what they want from a relationship. They're not actually asking themselves, well, what are my core needs? What are my values? What are my non-negotiables? And then they kind of can get lost in it. And then they realize 5, 10, 15 years later down the line, wow, I've been completely self-abandoning. And so I actually work with a lot of women who have been divorced, who were in a marriage for 16 years, 20 years. And then they get out and they realize, I have not, I've heard this from certain women, I never had my pleasure for me, right? It was always for my partner. I completely self-abandoned. I didn't trust myself. I didn't follow my needs. And it was because they never actually had that time to get clear on what they want. So I help people kind of prep for their union, I would say. And then I also support people in relationship who need maybe more tools, I would say, more skills to have that really solid foundation for a partnership.
Have you ever had a podcast?
I do have one.
I was going to say, because your information is amazing to get out there.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
But I think, and Heidi, you're the same demographic as me, and your ex-wives as well, of what we did when we got married so young. You as well, as a man, you got married young. The things that you thought you wanted, that were those core values. And what we have found in the business, around your late 40s, 50s, the women who got married, happily married, or not, their kids grow up and move out, and that's when you realize, you know what, I haven't done me, and now I can do me. But how do I do that at 48, 50? What does that look like? Similar for men?
You're very funny.
Why?
Because you're rushing to make a bad deal.
I'm not rushing to make. I
I'm
just
just
see
saying
this is what
that people
have.
rush.
But our generation did that. Your generation, the younger generation, they don't jump so fast. They're actually soul searching. I didn't. I did what we thought we were supposed to do. You went to college, you got married, you had the children, and you moved along. And there, next thing you know, you're moving along.
Well,
I think sometimes people change.
Every day.
I think you could marry somebody who you're in love with, and over time, things change, people change, the kids
Even
grow up,
love
they
changes.
move out. And a lot of people, I think, stay together because they want the security. And it's I was married for 30 years. So it's the type of thing where you can be resigned and just say, okay, this is it. And there's other times when you say, nope, this isn't working for me. I need to move on. And my ex-husband and I are amicable. We just were both ready to go and take a different path. And it's different for everybody, but to have somebody like a Hanna to either help guide you on who it is you're looking for, or if you're in a relationship and you need to work certain things out, it's very different. Coaching is very different than therapy, very different. You really hold somebody accountable and you give them tools. It's not just sitting there and talking to somebody.
You're closer to the fire than as opposed to talking to somebody who's going to listen to both sides of the story. And then they're going to rush because everybody wants to be right. Nobody wants to be wrong. So they're talking to a third person and saying, well, look what he did. And the next thing you know, all you're doing is you're spinning that clock. But this is what I say. People rush to make a bad deal because they want to make a deal. So instead of making a good deal, they rather make a bad deal and say, woof, society is never going to take care of you. Only one person is going to take care of you. And if you're going to do something because I'm 35 and my biological clock, sometimes you're just not ready.
You should write a book.
And I've been divorced twice. And even if you are ready, what about the other person you're marrying? Because you may have all the solutions on one side, you think. The other side may not have any solutions, or they may not like your solution. You're dealing with a double header here that changes every single day.
But even in business, I think there's your clock that said, by the time I'm 30, I should be here financially. I can start a family or I can't.
You said that?
Me, no. But people do. Financially, this is what my kids have told me. 30, there's this milestone, my daughter told me yesterday, that you feel like you should be at whatever level it is you feel you should be. And if you're not, you're like, well, why aren't I there? There's this pivotal point. And then I think the next one is probably every decade-ish. And the next one is maybe 40, 45. At least I've seen that in our business. And then you hit close to 60, which is...
You're funny. I want
to ask Alicia, though.
Thank you. It's just that my situation's a little bit different because I met my husband when I was a teenager. However, I grew up with my mother telling me that she always taught us, and this is something that I think that it makes sense in a lot of realms, where you start, when you meet somebody, you build a relationship mentally, and that leads to the heart, and that leads to the sex. Now, if you start from the sex, it's hard to get to the heart. It's hard to get to the heart, and it's hard to get to the mind, and it makes a lot of sense overall. And we are living in a generation where we want to be self-independent because we want to be accountable, and we are living in a double income world. However, those dynamics, it's very simple, and it is the culprit, not the culprit, but it is the foundation of what a great union is, which is the mind to the heart to the sex. And for those of you who are married and want to stay married, have regular sex.
Amen. I notice this whole conversation goes on. Only she brings up the sex.
But the funny thing is that you don't have to have great sex to be married. I don't get that.
To stay married.
Yeah, to stay married.
I'm talking about to stay married.
Yeah, well, I can prove
if
to
you
you
want to
that
have a happy, I'm sorry, but go ahead.
But I can show you that doesn't always hold water. You know, it's funny because life is here, and if you live life here, there's a gap, and you got to figure out that gap, and you got to figure that gap out every single day, because what makes you happy, and the life you got, sometimes don't equate.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
I'm speaking from experience and what I've spoken to a lot of people.
Well, you've been married how
long? Almost 19 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
30 years is a number I can't even count that high. But
that's a long time.
But sometimes I would love to have been married for 10 years and be happy 9 of those 10 years. That to me was a win. Because people change, and as you get older, your desires change. I look at life now at my age, and there are things, man, that I did back in the day I wish I could get them over because I didn't appreciate them. And things change. Everything changes. The food is better. The wine is better. The sun feels better. It ain't the same.
Your taste buds change.
Everything changes.
It's true.
And your reach changes. The things you want to do.
Alicia and Hannah's sisters, they look alike.
I think so too.
Rochelle, they are not sisters, but that's funny.
Who said that?
Someone wrote in.
Somebody wrote in.
Aw, thank you.
That. We are soul sisters.
They're soul sisters. There you go.
Soul sisters.
Yeah, you guys do look like you could be sisters.
Yeah. Thank you, whoever said that.
And spiritually, what I like is the fact that you're able to let people feel how they feel, because a lot of people don't tell you the truth. A lot of people will tell you what they think you want to hear. A lot of people will tell you what you think you're supposed to say because society deems it. And I've had this conversation with your daughter. Stop saying that you're looking, you're not happy, you're not this, you're not that. Forget about the knots. Look at what you have, man. Because when you don't have it no more.
Well, that's just it. We have to stop and smell, what is it?
The roses?
Yeah.
The coffee.
Well, not anything you want to smell, Alicia. It's good. Coffee,
anything you want to
roses.
smell. Smell your feet.
Not Shih Tzus.
But you want to be honest. You got to stop living in the I don't haves and start living in look what I got. And live with that, no matter how small it is. You know, getting up in the morning, then we talk about this, making your bed, you should say a prayer and thank you, because at least you got a bed. Start from that and work your way up. Enjoy life a little bit. Stop being such a negative.
And stop being, and also stop trying to let your partner be the one who's going to make you happy. Looking for that.
Good luck with that.
Because, and that's something that I see a lot of people
Good
have.
luck
Like
with
they're
that.
waiting for their partner, and they're not God.
But you know what I think it comes? I think it goes back to self-love, because you don't think you're worthy enough to bring yourself joy and happiness, so you look outward. And that's why what you do is so important, Hanna.
Absolutely. So thank you. This is probably like the biggest, I would say, pillar of my work is bringing someone back into their inherent wholeness and worthiness, because this has been my entire journey, my whole life, is subtly, unconsciously seeking outside myself for the validation and the love that I didn't feel inside of me. And so every relationship that I've had that didn't work out, I had to go through the heartbreak and point back inward. Okay, well, where don't I feel worthy? Where am I not loving myself? Because I believe a relationship is two whole people coming together to bring together what I call a sacred union, not two people who are half and half to bring a whole. It's two whole people coming together. And so that's why I believe the inner work of, you know, healing childhood stuff and like all the things is so key, so that you don't project your own stuff onto your partner and you learn that emotional responsibility, which is literally like
it's not it's not heartbreak, it's growth break.
I like
because
that.
if you do heartbreak, that's pain, man. And nothing in your life, including, I was married twice. And I wish Michelle the best. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. If she don't want to be with me, that's okay. But the growth of what I learned from that thing, I'm not going to take it to heartbreak. You see my sons and my relationship with my boys and my grandkids. I got too many of them all over the place. I enjoy that. So it ain't heartbreak. Forget that. Forget about the negative. Sometimes things don't work out because they're not supposed to. Because you're not in a position of where you're supposed to be yet. But you'll get there. I wish I was 30 again, man. I really do.
Do you?
Oh, man, I would switch it up.
Would you do it all over the same way?
You wouldn't see me coming. I tell you. Because you only live one life. And if you can't enjoy this life, what are you going to do when you go in the ground and you're going to sit there and say, man, what a dummy I was?
It's all part of the journey, though.
It is. Have fun.
You know what's interesting, with that said, I have a puppy now, and it's like, and I only have one child. So I'm trying to do everything right that I didn't do with my daughter,
Right.
like
You did
like when
everything
she
right.
cries, you don't run to her all the time. You guys know how it is with kids, raising kids. So it's very interesting how you're talking about going back into time. But the beauty of it is to not be reactive, be proactive. So what can you do now today, Freddie, that you have learned through the years that if you were 30 years old, you will fix it and you would do it today?
I would have gone for the daughter, which I
would
never
what?
had. I never had the daughter. And another thing, spoil the hell out of your kids, man. You know how they say you can't do
Really?
that? When you don't have them, or what's that song? I'm a little busy, Dad, I can't get back to you, right? Then you're going to know that. The more you spoil them, the more they'll be in your pocket, the happier you'll be, because those
Really?
human beings spoil the crap out of them.
This is the first time I heard that. What do you guys think?
I
Heidi?
spoil you.
Does. She's
Yeah.
always very generous when I come to visit.
And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong
ever
with it.
since you were
But
little?
she's still very independent. And as much as I try to lure her back to Florida, she's
Yeah.
staying in Austin.
Don't worry, I want her to come back to Florida.
That's 'cause you-
Yeah,
We'll see.
She's
she's
my
doing
sister.
her own thing.
I just got
She's
that.
independent.
Yeah.
That's because your daughter is a rebel, but she's the good rebel.
Yeah, and I
independent.
have so much fun spoiling her.
That's
We went
right.
shopping at the mall yesterday. I bought her shoes for the wedding. We go out for nice dinners. We went to Sexy Fish in Miami.
Which is mermaid heaven, by the way.
Mermaid heaven.
Oh yeah, with the underwater mermaids, right? Is that the one?
It's
No.
yeah, it has everything to do with the sea.
Wow.
It's a very cool place.
I bet you love the Little Mermaid,
Super,
My Little Mermaid.
super expensive. But I took her there for her birthday because I know she would be
in awe.
In awe, yeah. It was such a Hanna place. But yes, I agree with you, spoiling, but you don't want to enable your child if they take advantage of the spoiling part. That's
Yes.
all I have to say about that.
And it's, I believe, having just deep appreciation, right? Like, I'm so grateful and appreciative for all the ways that my mom gives to me, and I don't ever want to take that for granted. I
How
think the
is
same
she
goes for a relationship.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was she when she was a preteen?
So it's so interesting. When Hanna was young, she was super shy. Super, super shy. A mama's girl, always clinging to me, would never talk to anybody. Even as you got older, I would say, can you ask that person what time it is? Or like, no. Where Jessie, my other daughter, was very independent, always out there. But now you've fully come out of your shell.
It's been a lot of inner work, a lot of, I call it shadow work, just confronting the parts of myself that had so much fear and didn't feel safe in the world. So that's another thing that I love bringing, is like helping people cultivate safety in their own body to be able to speak in front of a camera if you need to, or speak your truth in a confrontational conversation. But it's been, I know I'm only 31, but it's been many years of continuously working on myself.
Yeah, and Hanna is so comfortable in front of the camera. I'm amazed that this little shy girl came out of her shell so much, maybe like sometimes a little too much for my liking.
I'm very expressive.
She's very expressive. But I think it's amazing because that's something that's not so easy for a lot of young people to overcome if they have shyness or they're socially awkward or, any of those fears that people have with, being interactive with the outside world.
Mm-hmm. It's repetitive. She was taking notes, and now she's coming to her own. And someday, when she has her kids, she'll have the best of both worlds. And Dawn took 4 years to come and work with me. And I don't know where that shyness came. And now she's like all over the place and does what she does, when she does it, and how she does it, and there's no getting in her way. Call late bloomers. But the object of the game is that you learn. As you learn, you go forward with what you got, and you push it forward, and you keep going, and you keep going. And someday you'll say, I hit the mark. Remember we used to talk about that mark, that trumpet? Got to hit that note. And the object of the game is to sustain it. Is you got to be able to stay in the game, and you got to be able to stay. So when you coach and you're not around, they have to be able to keep that inward positivity going. And if you can't do that, then you got to keep working on it until you can. We have a mirror in Studio A, and I haven't asked the new kid yet, to take a look in that mirror and tell me what you see. And you'll be surprised at some of the things that they tell me. But I was once the most shyest person in the world. I didn't have any friends. I grew up in high school with no friends. It was me and the chicken and the animals in the farm. Those are my friends. And I laugh now, because now for a living, I got to come in front of a camera and say whatever I got to say and do what I got to do, because I've learned that you only have one life, and it's this fast. And if you don't take advantage of it, then nobody's going to be able to drink the Kool-Aid of who you are. Nobody's going to learn just how fantastic you are. Because what do I always say? Are you the best at what you do?
Sure.
And the answer is always yes. Always yes. So.
Wow, what a great show, right?
Good stuff.
All kinds of good stuff. Elise, you're going to join us tonight at 388?
Yes, and I hope they will too.
I hope you ladies join us if you're in the area.
You should. It's a
It's
whole
right up the
different
street. Tonight at 388. You're in Meisner, so it's right up the street on Federal Highway.
Yeah.
Just north of Glades, between Glades and Spanish River. Italian restaurant. It's amazing. Half-price drinks, half-price appetizers. We've got music coming.
We got the
True
after
Oldies
hours
Radio,
show.
After Hours Radio.
So it's all of this and then some.
And then the radio is going to be airing on Friday night at 6:30, prime drive time. But come on down. They make great espresso martinis if you happen to like that, or anything else.
That keeps me up.
All right, I got her an espresso martini. I got to tell you.
Did you order the coffee espresso?
The espresso martini?
That coffee thing.
That's the espresso
That was
martini.
you?
Yes.
Watch out. You get that, you better have roller skates.
And the way he does it, with how Kyle, as a bartender, you would never even know there's vodka in it. So it gets a little dangerous, but amazing. Perfectly crafted.
It's a nice place. We're going to have Mike there tonight. He's going to come and do some Italian music. We're going to set up tables to do some interviews. I have a couple of ideas. I just got to look at the equipment we're going to take, because I may have Alicia on one side talking to the band members. So I don't want what happened last week to happen this week. I want to capture it correctly. But you're all welcome. You're welcome as well. Maybe you can coach some people up. Maybe you can talk. It's funny, because if you look at a room like this, you're going to see different types of people that want to be more. They want to enjoy life more, and they want to network and meet people more. I think you guys are fit in like a glove.
We've got some friends from Fem City, I think, are going to be joining us. They've texted me. So,
nice.
Everyone saw it in the email last week that went out. So if you are not on our email blast, like and subscribe at brooklyncafe.tv to be a part of our network in our email. We're going to be sending them out weekly, so give everyone a little bit of a chance to see what's going on in studio, behind the scenes, and to spotlight all the great community vendors that we get to work with. So we're going to have, I think, public relations. We're going to talk about resumes. We've got Helen's going to be in the next issue talking about astrology, and you never know who else might pop up in there.
And we may be covering the expo, you told me.
We're going to be covering that, which is pretty. It's called FITSE. And it's the Florida International Trade Commission show. I don't know, they've got 70 countries that will be in attendance in Broward County, October 23rd and 24th. It is free to attend. Vendors, of course, if you want a vendor table, that's a different story. But can you imagine being able to be there and cover 70 countries?
I've been there.
So we're going to be doing that, which is pretty exciting.
I think it's fun. I saw the list of dignitaries that are coming from all over the world.
So
Tremendous.
kind of exciting. So Amp Media Productions is going to be part of their media team down at the Broward Expo Center. So got to get everyone ready. They got 6 weeks to figure it out.
Good stuff.
All right, more to come. Thank you so much, Hanna, Heidi Ortman of J. Ortman.
Thank you.
Jewels, check it out.
Love you
If you
guys.
are looking for wholesale jewelry, you want to design it, you want travel pieces, or you just want to have a whole lot of fun playing and then wearing it, contact them at jortman.com.
You forgot the most important part.
Alicia?
No.
Oh.
If you're in the doghouse, if you are a guy, I'm talking to my guy friends. If you're a guy and you're in the doghouse, call these ladies because they will change your life and get you out of the doghouse.
Yeah, she coaches a lot of men. A lot of men.
Sally, feel better. We miss you. Tune in tonight to Lights in the Night with Russell Johnson talking about, what's happening, some of the experiments and information coming from above. Tonight at 8 o'clock on True Oldies Radio, as well as streaming on his Lights in the Night podcast. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
You got to thank Alicia.
I thanked Alicia.
Did she?
Stay safe, be kind to each other.
She
Thank
didn't.
you,
You're going to
Alicia.
get more of Alicia tonight. She'll be doing some work tonight.
All right. Thank you. And we will see you tonight, 388 at 5:30, and tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.